Think of the last time you almost died. Not the dramatic version, not a movie moment. I mean the boring one, the one you forgot about by dinner. The car that missed the light by half a second. The step you almost took before you looked down and saw the drop. The message you almost sent, the number you almost dialed, the thing that almost happened. You remember it as a story about luck. I don't think it was luck. I think it might be the only kind of story you were ever going to be around to tell. In 1997, a physicist named Max Tegmark described a machine he never built because building it would have been insane. A gun. Not aimed by a hand, triggered by an atom. 50% chance it decays, 50% chance it doesn't. Pull the trigger and physics itself flips the coin. He called it the quantum suicide experiment. Here's the part that should make your stomach drop. If the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics is correct, and it isn't fringe, real physicists take it seriously, then that coin never actually lands on one side. It lands on both. The universe splits down the middle. In one half, the trigger fires. In the other, it doesn't. Both are equally real, equally happening, just no longer able to see each other. Somewhere, right now, both versions of that moment are true. Now here's where the physics lecture turns into something else. In the branch where the gun fires, there's no you left to know it. No pain, no fade to black. Just a branch that keeps going without a first-person seat inside it anymore. In the branch where it doesn't, you're standing there, pulse loud in your ears, certain something almost happened. And from the inside, from behind your own eyes, you can only ever end up in that second branch, the one where you're still around to have a seat at all. Run it 1,000 times, 10,000. The math says you should be dead by round 12. The you doing the counting never feels it happen, not once. You just keep waking up. Go back to that crosswalk, the one from the beginning, the car that missed you by half a second. Here's an uncomfortable question. What if it didn't miss you by half a second in every branch? What if, somewhere, the timing worked out differently, and there's a version of this exact morning where that near miss wasn't a near miss at all? You'll never meet that version of you. You were never going to. Because the only branch capable of asking this question is the one where the answer was no, not this time. That's not you being spared. That's just math, wearing the costume of a miracle. The many worlds interpretation isn't science fiction. It's one of several serious, mainstream ways of explaining what happens inside quantum mechanics. The version most people have heard of, Copenhagen, says reality picks a lane the moment you look. One outcome, one timeline, one you. Many worlds says it doesn't pick, it forks. Every outcome happens, just in branches that stop talking to each other. And the honest answer is, nobody can prove which one is true. The math comes out the same either way. It might not be testable, not now, maybe not ever. Which means I can't debunk this for you at the end like a magician revealing the trick. It might just be how things are. So forget the gun. The gun was never really the point. It's just a clean version of something already happening to you, constantly, without a trigger, without a lab. Your body runs 1,000 quiet dice rolls a day you'll never know about. A cell that could turn dangerous or doesn't. A driver whose attention slips for exactly the wrong half second, or doesn't. A staircase, a diagnosis, a decision made half a beat too late, or not. Most of those rolls aren't even quantum, they're just ordinary probability. But the logic doesn't care. It only needs some outcomes to end you and some not to, and for you to only ever be standing in the ones that didn't. That's not exotic. That's just Tuesday. Which means, if this is right, you have never once in your entire life experienced the version where it went catastrophically wrong. Every close call you've survived, you're only remembering from the branch where you got to keep remembering. You've never seen the other one. Nobody who lands there stays around to file the report. So it starts to feel like a pattern, like something's watching out for you. It isn't. That's the trap. It's not protection, it's selection. You're not being spared. You're just the only outcome that's still around to notice it happened. That's not a comforting story. I want to be honest about that. It's not about you being lucky or special or watched over. It's a story about the universe not needing to keep you safe at all. It only needs some version of you to keep going. And that version sits here, understandably convinced it's the only one that counts. Here's the part most people skip when they tell this story. It's the part that actually keeps me up. Not the dying, the surviving. Because survival, in this framework, was never promised to mean surviving well. Run the gun 10,000 times, and the branches where you're not dead don't all look the same. Statistically, most of them are branches where something went wrong enough to almost kill you, and left a mark instead of a clean exit. Injured, diminished, barely there. The branch only needs a you capable of having an experience. It doesn't need a you who's okay. Stretch that across an entire lifetime, and immortality stops sounding like an escape hatch. It starts sounding like a sentence with no release date. Not, you get to live forever. More like, you don't get the option to stop. And if consciousness really does just follow whichever branch keeps going, the clean ending you've been quietly afraid of might not be on the menu. Not because you're protected, because you is just whatever's left standing, wherever it's still standing. I'll give you the way out. You've earned it. And I'd rather be honest than leave you with a clean scare and nothing underneath it. Most physicists and philosophers who take many worlds seriously do not accept quantum immortality. Not because the physics breaks, because the argument sneaks in a promise physics never actually made. That your consciousness rides the surviving branch like a passenger who bought a ticket. Nothing in the math says that. It's a story about identity, stitched onto the equations after the fact. And the branches aren't weighted equally. The ones where you keep beating the odds get thinner and thinner, mattering less and less, even if they never technically hit zero. Underneath it all sits an older question nobody's ever actually answered. What makes tomorrow's version of you the same you sitting here right now? That question was already unsolved before anyone dragged quantum mechanics into it. So no, you probably don't have to worry about being trapped in an eternity of near misses. Probably. Here's what I keep coming back to, long after the papers are closed and the lights off. You don't need many worlds to be true for this feeling to be real. Because whether or not there's a branching universe out there, you already only get to experience the version of your life where you're still around to experience it. That was true before Tegmark wrote a single equation. It'll stay true after everyone's forgotten his name. Every ordinary day you've survived, the ones you don't remember, the ones nothing happened in, was never actually guaranteed. You just weren't in a position to notice the ones where it wasn't. So think about that crosswalk again. The half second. The story you tell as luck. Maybe the question was never, will I live forever? Maybe it was always just, how many times has it already gone the other way? Somewhere. Without you ever finding out.